I only have to borrow a book explaining the procedures. I am most fortunate, for tomorrow I will see the Vyasa Puja. The process for Vyasa Puja differs in the various sannyasa sampradayas. It was decided that the same process of Vyasa Puja that Sri Nityananda Prabhu was accustomed to would be observed in the house of Shri Vasa. Mahaprabhu was greatly pleased by the words of Shri Vasa, and all the Vaishnavas began to chant Hari Hari. Vishvambara said, "O Shripada Goswami, please listen. With your blessing, we will all go to Shri Vasa Pandita's house." Nityananda was pleased with the Lord's words. Taking the Lord's instruction, they all immediately departed. As Nityananda and Vishvambara went along with their associates, it appeared that Balarama and Krishna were surrounded by the residents of Gokula. As soon as they entered the house of Shri Vasa, everyone was filled with ecstatic love for Krishna. The Lord ordered that the main entrance be closed so that no one other than intimate associates could enter. On entering Shri Vasa's house, Shri Gaura and Nityananda ordered that the outside door be closed. Then no one could enter Shri Vasa's house other than persons who were surrendered to the Lord. All of Shri Gaura Sundara's functions would begin with Kirtana. That is why the door was closed to check those who were ineligible to see the function. The Lord gave the instruction to begin Kirtana. As the sound of the Kirtana arose, everyone lost external consciousness. Prior to Vyasa Puja, Shri Gaura Sundara ordered the devotees to begin Kirtana. No one was allowed to enter the Vyasa Puja arena except the intimate servants of the Lord. When on the Lord's instruction the devotees began to loudly chant, they lost their various external perceptions and thoughts. In the ecstatic Adivasa Kirtana prior to Vyasa Puja, the two lords danced as the devotees surrounding them sang. The devotees were jubilant in anticipation of the Vyasa Puja ceremony. Shri Gaura and Nityananda both began to dance in the Kirtana. The devotees surrounded the lords and expressed their joy through their performance of Kirtana. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Chaitanya and Nitai are bound by eternal love. They meditated on each other as they danced together. Both Sri Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda are eternally bound to each other by love. Each one meditated on the other as they madly danced together. The Supreme Lord engaged in meditating on his servant, and the devotee engaged in meditating on his worshipable Lord. The word dhyana in this verse does not refer to material thoughts. The word dhyana here refers to spiritual absorption. In other words, absorption totally devoid of gross material thoughts and full of spiritual pleasure. Just as the material senses acquire the subtle status of an object from the gross world in order to serve the mind, which is the basis of the senses, and thus convert its gross status into a subtle one. Similarly, giving up gross and subtle material enjoyment with the desire for only eternal spiritual objects causes the descent of variegated spiritual pleasure in this world. Material pleasure derived from this world is completely distinct from spiritual pleasure that has descended. Someone roared loudly and someone cried out. Someone fell unconscious while someone else wept. When spiritual consciousness awakens in the heart of a conditioned soul, the symptoms of ecstatic love manifest in his body. He then loses worldly consumptions and displays symptoms of variegated spiritual pleasure in this world. In order to exhibit this ideal, Sri Gauda Sundara, who is the Lord of the 14 worlds, and who is beyond the jurisdiction of material nature, danced with ecstatic love in the company of his associates. It is completely unreasonable to attribute the state of material conditioning on the transcendental pastimes that Vrajanjanandana personally manifests in this world to remove the conditioned soul's darkness of ignorance. When conditioned souls are situated on the path of sadhana, they cannot understand the glorious transcendental nature of the Lord's pastimes. I am unable to describe the Lord's transformations of love, such as shivering, persevering, head standing on end, crying and falling unconscious in ecstasy. As the two lords danced in their own ecstasy, they sometimes embraced each other and cried. They both tried to catch the other's feet, but they both cleverly avoided being caught. Under the influence of materialistic false ego in ordinary affairs, when someone touches the feet of another person, the person whose feet was touched becomes proud and considers himself great. But since such materialistic false ego is not found in Vishnu or the Vaishnavas, they never hesitate to touch each other's feet. The transcendental activities of Vaishnavas are not subject matters understandable by ordinary proud persons. They both rolled on the ground in ecstasy and forgot themselves while absorbed in their own pastimes. They lost all external consciousness, and their clothes scattered. Although the Vaishnavas tried to pacify them, they were unable. Who can hold that personality who holds the three worlds? The two lords thus became intoxicated in the happiness of Kirtana. Both Sri Gaura and Nityananda are sustainers of all the worlds. Therefore, how would the created human beings of this world hold the sustainers of all worlds? Sri Gaura Sundara called out, "Chant, chant," and his entire body became soaked with the tears of ecstasy. After obtaining fulfillment of his long cherished desire for the association of Nityananda, the Lord forgot himself and floated in an ocean of bliss The word Chiradina means eternally. The threefold miseries are present within the material world. In the kingdom of spiritual variegatedness, however, there is an ever-fresh outburst of happiness. Vishvambara's dancing was most enchanting, as his feet would touch his own head. The earth trembled under the feet of Nityananda, and all the Vaishnavas thought there was an earthquake. In this way, the two lords danced in ecstasy. Who has the power to describe their jubilation? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,